Hello, my name is Rebecca and welcome to my channel. Today I'm making a rainbow birthday cake. So tomorrow is my best friend Anna's birthday. It is May 8th and she has no idea I'm making this cake. She has no idea I'm making anything or getting anything for her because we're in quarantine right now. So today I'm going to be making a 6-layer rainbow cake with cream cheese frosting. Earlier on I cut out 6 bases for my cake tins. So I'm just gonna get some butter on a piece of the butter thing and just gonna...
So I'm going to be including some voiceover parts for some of this video just to make some parts a bit clearer. But as I've said, I'm making a rainbow cake with cream cheese frosting for my best friend's birthday. I've only 2 tins, so I've decided to make 3 batches of 2 cakes. The recipe will be in the description if you're interested at all. But to start, I've just prepared by cutting out 6 circles of parchment paper for my cake tins. And as you can see, I'm just using some butter. You can just put it on a piece of parchment or something similar and just coat the tins before you place the parchment paper in them. For the size of the tins, I just cut strips of parchment and I make cuts along the side and then put them in the tins first before putting in the circle pieces. This just makes the removal process so much easier later on.
I've sifted the flour in and the baking powder in. Now I'm just going to add the butter, the sugar, the eggs and the vanilla extract. Whisk it up and then I'm going to add the colouring and then we've got the first set of cakes ready. Exactly 110. How handy is that? Hey Siri, where's my phone? There it is. Handy dandy whisk, and we're gonna whisk.
I am definitely not a professional, but whisking is what's going to make your cake very light. So here I think I was whisking for almost 3 minutes.
A bit of cake it did just fly across the kitchen, but that's fine. So now we have the first cake mixture mixed. I'm gonna spoon it into these 2 bowls, and then I'm gonna add the food coloring. They're going to be really thin layers because there's no point in having a mountain, but like I also don't know how I'm going to spread these into the tins. So the first color we're going to do is red. Oh, I feel like I might. Oh!
I mean, you may as well. Like, what was it on?
It's actually not bad. Next is blue. Oh.
Yo.
Honestly, isn't that so satisfying?
It's not even me.
Now for the fun part, trying to get it into the tins. What are you staring out into the abyss for?
Lock the door.
I realised you have to close the window as well. Mom, use your hand!
So at this point, the first 2 cakes were in the oven and they were in for about 13 minutes because they are very thin and you just want to check them with a knife whenever you take them out just to make sure they're cooked through. Here I'm on to batter for layers 3 and 4. Obviously for me, I only had the 2 cake tins that are the same size, but if for some wild reason you have 6 cake tins of the same size and you have a big enough oven, you could just make the batter all together and cook them in one go. The actual cake method itself is not difficult. I would just say the process itself is time consuming.
So we have 2 layers out of the oven. Let me show you what they look like.
I will say, as I was taking the layers out of the oven, the outer colours were kind of disappointing. Like, they looked dull, but as you'll see later on when I'm cutting the cake, the actual colours inside are a lot more vibrant.
Oh wow. Yeah, it says it takes 1 tube to like go yellow. So for these layers I'm using a gel instead of the like liquid, and it's already proving more difficult and like twice as expensive because
As I just said there, most of the dyes I used were gel and I ended up having to use an entire tube for each layer. And I know gels are probably more vibrant for icing, but I think in retrospect using liquid dyes is more cost effective if you're trying to dye batter for cakes.
Oh.
Whoop.
Oh.
Whoop. These are looking uber cool. We've got orange, yellow. Yeah. Also, Anna, if you're watching this video, happy birthday. I love you a lot. I can't wait to see you in actual person and hang out with you because yeah, so we're gonna spoon these in. Oh my god, and onto that one because I had not put in a base yet.
And we are back again, trying to smooth these teeny layers into the cake tins. This honestly was the most annoying part because obviously cakes rise, so the initial mixture is so minimal across these size tins. So I would just say be patient, and I personally use the back of a spoon to try and make them as even as possible.
Into the oven go the next two layers. Layer 5 and 6. Gotta clean up, everybody watch. Is that a song? Am I dreaming about that? I think it's a song. We need this red again to like make pink. Like this one does not look yellow at all. Orange, but like also does not look orange at all. Ooh. This one is meant to be orange. Like, can you even tell that's meant to be orange? Not really.
Yes! Yes!
Oh.
No. You can't lose it, really.
So it kind of looks muddy, but it does look a bit more purple in person. And now we're gonna put it in the tins. Just gonna lob that in there.
As I said before, this recipe will be in the description, but just so you know, I made 2/3 of the initial recipe that I was looking at for this icing, and I thought it was going to be way too much as there's a whole pound of sugar in the recipe, but honestly it was probably just enough for the cake. I really wouldn't decrease the quantity any more than I had for this cake because, as you'll see later on in the constructing process, you do need a lot of frosting for the layers on the outside.
I'm gonna go get my family to taste test this. Hello! Hello vlog! How are you? How are you doing? The cake tastes good. The cheese tastes good. What else tastes good, Cody? What tastes good? What's your favorite? Would you eat the cheese? Can you feed dogs cheese? I feel like no is the answer. So I made the 6 layers of the cake this evening, and honestly, like it took a couple hours, but like it's fine because I really enjoyed making that. I made the icing tonight as well, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and it might need to be kind of like loosened up with some hot water tomorrow. So we're back. It is Friday now. So I have the frosting. It's like cooled. I had it in the fridge overnight, and then we have all the layers of the cake. So we're gonna go and attempt to ice these, and we have a spinny table thing. So hopefully that's gonna help.
And we have come to the fun part. So ideally I would have made and iced the cake the same day, but I did not do that. I left them overnight. I just stacked the cake with parchment paper in between each layer just so they wouldn't stick together. I didn't end up having to add water to loosen up the icing, but I did use a spoon to put the icing on the cake, and then I used a long knife to smooth it all out. Professionals would use this tool called an offset, but honestly the knife worked fine. Also, this turning table thing that I'm using was so useful for the smoothing process, so if you have anything similar, I would definitely use it because it makes it so much easier. This next process was one called crumb coating. It's new to me. I was not a professional at all. I expect an offset would make this better and a denser icing, but basically, to the best of my knowledge, a crumb coat is the initial layer of icing that goes on the cake and fills in any gaps and basically prevents crumbs being in the outermost layer. So basically, you can look it up for a more in-depth description, but I just spooned some icing on, and as you can see in the clips, I just used the back of the knife and the spinning technique to create the layer. And then once this was done, I was just adding more icing and building it up and spinning it around until it was even as it could be.
We are gonna do is get some colorful sprinkles. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. I am blown away. Like, who would have thought I could do this?
Oh my god!
That looks so cool.
And oh my god, it is finally done. It looks incredible. It tastes amazing. I will definitely be making it again. The cut into the cake, look, you can see here, the colors are so vibrant. It looks so cool. I definitely recommend you try this at some point for a birthday or something. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, show some love, have a look at my last video, which I will link below, and I will chat to you in the next video. Bye.